You've seen them before, on dollar bills, on jewelry, on temples, on tattoos. These are ancient symbols, but they never truly disappeared. They are not just designs. They are relics of forgotten gods, traces of lost civilizations, and in some cases, they may still carry power. Some were born in myth, others in ritual. All of them were shaped by belief and fear. Let's begin with the Eye of Horus, one of the oldest and most enduring symbols in human history. Born from the violent myths of ancient Egypt, it represented healing, protection, and divine perception. It was said to be Horus's eye, restored by the god Thoth after a cosmic battle with Set. The Egyptians called it the Wadjet and believed it had magical properties. It was painted on tomb walls, carved into ships, and worn as an amulet by both priests and peasants. Today, it still appears in pop culture, on jewelry, and in conspiracy theories. But few remember its true origin, or how it once guarded souls through the underworld. Then there is the Ankh, often mistaken for a Christian cross, but it predates Christianity by thousands of years. The Ankh symbolized life, not just physical life, but the eternal cycle of renewal. It was often depicted in the hands of gods, passed to pharaohs as a sign of divine favor. Temples were lined with Ankhs. The Nile itself was sometimes referred to as the river of the Ankh, the source of all life. Today it shows up in fashion and music videos, used as a design or accessory. But at its core, the Ankh is a map of immortality, drawn by a people obsessed with the afterlife. Now consider the Ouroboros, a serpent devouring its own tail. It first appeared in ancient Egyptian funerary texts, symbolizing time, eternity, and the cycle of death and rebirth. The Greeks adopted it into their alchemical traditions. The Norse saw it in Jormungandr, the world serpent. The Hindus called it the cosmic cycle. Carl Jung wrote that it symbolized the unconscious, and physicists today see it in models of infinite matter loops. It is a perfect circle, self-consuming, self-creating, the ultimate paradox. And yet it continues to appear in tattoos, graphic novels, and corporate logos. It is the symbol of eternal return. Next, we move to the Celtic triskele, also known as the triple spiral. This symbol predates written history in Ireland, carved into stone at ancient sacred sites like Newgrange. It represents triads, life, death, and rebirth, or mind, body, and spirit, or past, present, and future. Many cultures viewed the number 3 as sacred, and the triskele embodied that spiritual geometry. In the modern era, it is adopted by Wiccans, neo-pagans, and even in popular media as a symbol of balance and unity. What began as a sacred solar or lunar motif is now worn by thousands who may not know it once marked the entrance to the other world. Then there is the Valknut, 3 interlocking triangles found at Norse burial sites. Unlike most symbols, its meaning was never recorded. It may have represented Odin, the god of war, wisdom, and the dead, or it may have marked those chosen to die in battle. Warriors carved it into weapons and helmets. Priests carved it into stone. Today, it is a powerful design in Viking-inspired tattoos and Nordic fashion. But it is also a ghost, a symbol whose original voice was lost. And still, it speaks to something in us, the pull of battle, honor, and fate. The spiral is even older, found etched into cliffs, caves, and megalithic structures across the globe. No written explanation has survived, but many believe it represented the path of the sun, the womb of creation, or the soul's journey beyond death. Spirals have been uncovered in the temples of Malta, the Andes, the British Isles, and even remote Pacific islands. It is universal, perhaps even primal, a shape we all feel before we understand. Its simplicity hides its depth. Its repetition echoes in everything from DNA strands to galaxies. And then there is the pentagram, often feared and often misunderstood. But in ancient Babylon, it was used in mathematics and sacred geometry. In early Christianity, it symbolized the 5 wounds of Christ. In paganism, it represents the elements, earth, air, fire, water, and spirit in balance. Only in later centuries did it become associated with the occult or dark magic. Today it straddles that line, worn by both mystics and rebels, symbolizing everything from protection to rebellion. When we recognize these symbols today, we see them on tattoos, album covers, architectural facades, fashion, even government seals. They are everywhere. Some are worshipped, others are mocked, some have been twisted. But they have all survived, not by accident, but because they speak a language older than words. They are visual prayers, warnings, blessings, maps. Each one a silent voice whispering through time. They carry the weight of civilizations and the memory of myths. These symbols did not vanish. They adapted, they evolved, and in doing so, they became immortal. So the next time you see a symbol carved into a ring, stitched into clothing, inked onto skin, or hidden in the background of a film, stop and look closer. Ask yourself where it came from and why it still lingers. They were never just decorations. They were blueprints, keys, and messages from another world.